Hello, welcome. We're at Angel Island, Team 6, and the case we'd like to talk about is SAB. And the concern here is what are the challenges facing developing countries when implementing an improvement program? And the 5 topics we'd like to talk about are resources, education, supply chain, infrastructure, and politics.
Well, our first concern we want to point out relates to availability of resources. In so many developing nations, it is often common to find insufficiency of basic needs which are elementary to running a business, as for example food and water, to which employees might not have access to, or energy without which the business cannot run. But on the other hand, there's a plus to this, is that they never lack human resources. The second challenge facing developing countries is education. As schooling is extremely mediocre, people usually do not have sufficient IT and technology knowledge, as they most commonly lack standard education, which leads to difficulties in teaching and training, given that some people can't even read properly.
Next topic is supply chain, and in this case, certain goods are more expensive than others. So not all these goods are always available to developing nations. Also, as well, there are certain goods are expensive to transport too. So these goods can also be unavailable. So the supply chain can be disrupted in this way. And in this case, we'd also like to talk about Ghana Guinness Brewery. And as an example here, they have noted that they've had a shortage of water, energy, and barley, which have slowed their production process. And since the country of Ghana is growing and their company is growing, a process like this that's slow will only hinder their success in the future. Next topic we'd like to talk about is infrastructure. Developing nations don't always have the best infrastructure for transporting goods. In this case, it can also break down supply chains. So in the previous company, they've had a shortage. So maybe there was a breakdown at the port, or there's a breakdown on the highway. And as more cars have been seen on the road, this can be forced traffic in different areas. So this is an inefficiency in the infrastructure area.
Our last factor is the influence of politics, as it determines laws such as commercial regulations regarding export, import tariffs, and taxes. These regulations can actually harm and even keep a country from moving forward, like Cuba, for instance. The lack of open policies and less strict commercial laws kept them from going through a modernization process and reaching a developed state. Again, we'd like to restate our topics, which were resources, education, supply chain, infrastructures, and politics as the main challenges facing developing countries. Thank you very much.